When I was not able to speak in English, people used to stay away with me. They used to make a distance from me because they were not quite interested to talk to me. But when I started speaking English, when I started learning English, I was able to speak English fluently. And like a magnet, they came to me and talked to me. They really wanted to talk to me firstly. Now, this is the power of English. This is the power of having a skill. English is a skill, a kind of knowledge, and knowledge is the power. And let me tell you one thing, if you're watching this video, you are going to invest your time in a right way. This video is going to provide you a lot of value. So make sure to subscribe this channel right now and give this video a like. Share your comments in the comment section. What do you think about this video? Hello everyone, I welcome you all once again in my channel Learn English with Renu, and today in this video we are going to talk about study routine. How to maintain or how to create an effective and easiest study routine so that we can improve our English faster. So today in this video I am going to share with you my study routine which I used to follow when I started my English learning journey. In this video, I am going to share with you my study routine and of course, some additional choices. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, you should be familiar with one statement which is, great things take time. Right? Great things take time. Similarly, you can relate with English language. It is a kind of big skill. It is not easy to speak in English. And of course, it is going to take time. It is not a process of 1 day, 2 day or few months. It is going to take time because it is a big skill. It is a great thing. Of course, it is going to take time to have that, right? So you cannot ignore this fact that you cannot learn this skill in few days. You have to invest your time. You have to put your whole efforts towards this language, towards learning this language. You should show your interest. You should put your focus. As it is a big skill, speaking English is a big skill. We need to have a particular routine so that we can follow it and we can walk or we can just learn in a right way. Now, why we need to have a routine? We need to have a routine so that we can be disciplined, right? To have a routine is really important thing because you will not feel lost. It happens with most of the people that if they don't have routine, if they don't have schedule to learn what to learn next, if you have particular routine to learn English language, you should have that clarity in your mind that what we are going to learn next, what we are learning today, what we are going to cover in upcoming 4 days or 5 days. You should have that clarity and you will not feel lost. Because I've seen that people, they are not following routine. They just randomly pick anything and they started learning. And just because of this reason, they are unable to improve their speaking English or they are unable to improve their English. Right? So you should have that study routine so that you can walk in a right way in your journey of learning English. And of course, you know very well the importance of English. English is really important in today's world. Wherever you go, whatever you do, everywhere it is, right? If you want to talk about anything internationally, if you want to connect with people internationally, you should have this skill. The routine which I'm going to tell you, it is for 15 minutes. You need to invest your 15 minutes in a day. And in this routine, all the aspects of a language, when we learn a language, all 4 aspects would be covered. All right, from listening to reading and writing to speaking, all 4 aspects are included in this routine, and this is for 15 minutes you need to follow. Okay, so first you need to identify your separate time, your comfortable time to do study, then you can follow this routine. Let's move to the routine. Now talking to the first aspect, which is listening. How to improve our listening to learn English faster. So I'm going to share with you what I used to follow and of course some additional choices that you can follow as per your choice. So when I was learning English, and still I follow these all methods, I used to listen audiobooks. I love to listen audiobooks because I feel that I learn something new every day. I learn those things which I don't get easily around me. There is no one who can teach me all the things which I get in audiobooks or in books. All right. So for listening, I used to listen books, and I still do that. I listen songs. Often I listen songs and audiobooks, and sometime I listen interviews. Interviews of different celebrities. These things usually I do. Apart from this, what you can do now? Additional options you have. You can either go with podcast. There is a nice thing that you can go with, that is podcast. You can listen some different podcasts. There are so many podcasts on YouTube or Spotify. You can go with that, or you can go with TED Talk. TED Talk is really famous, you can say, platform where everything is in English. You can just practice your listening skills there in TED Talk. All right. TED Talk is really famous. You can go there and you can listen speeches of different people. They share their ideas. TED Talk is really super famous. All right. And the next point which you can do, that is you can just listen some different speeches. There's so many people, celebrities, they share about their life. There are so many channels. They just conduct these types of speeches of celebrities, of other people. Then you can listen them by subtitle. You can understand. You can listen some speeches in English. All right. I've shared with you 6 things. I do 3 things. I've shared with you audio. I listen audios. I love to listen it. I just go with Spotify when I feel like to listen music. I listen English songs. And sometimes I just go with interviews. And what the things that you can do additionally, I've shared with you. All right. Now let's move to the next point, which is speaking. Now, I want to share with you a quote which is really interesting about speaking. Wise people, intelligent people, they have something to say. They have something to say. They like speaking. Okay. But fools, they have to say something. Now, can you relate the difference? They have something to say, but they have to say something, right? So speaking is the most important aspect of learning a language, right? Now, what are the methods I used to follow in my study routine? And of course, similarly, I'm going to share with you some additional options which you can adopt as per your choices. Okay, if you are not satisfied with my study routine, you can pick up any one from additional choices. Okay, so what I used to do, and still I do that, I used to do self talk a lot. Literally, I used to do self talk a lot. I love it, and still I do it. So self talk can help you so much to improve your speaking skills, to improve your English. You can do self talk. And other thing I did, which is mirror talk. When we talk to ourselves by mirror technique, you can say that. So I used to talk to myself by mirror. Mirror technique is also a kind of very famous, which people use to improve their speaking skills. You can do the same. You can also use mirror techniques. This is one of which I used before, and I use sometimes now, but I used self-talk a lot. I use self-talk a lot nowadays. And other thing which I followed, that is just take a topic which interests me, and I started talking about it. I tried to speak as much as I can about a separate topic. All right. So you can do the same. You can just pick up a list of topics from Google. You can just search what are the topics to discuss, and then one by one you can just make a schedule that this day I'm going to talk about this topic, and that day I'm going to talk about that topic. All right, then you can share your views. You can talk about particular topic, and as much as you are talking, you will improve your speaking skills. Okay, So now I've shared with you my methods which I used to follow a lot. These are the methods that I included in my routine to learn English. Now, what are some additional options? Okay, so the additional options are: start doing shadowing. Shadowing, I've shared with you this technique in my previous video. It is a kind of technique when you try to copy a person. For example, if you are watching a series, like if you're watching a movie or anything, serial or anything, you are trying to, you know, doing mimicry of that person. You're trying to do mimicry of that person, right? You are trying to copy that person. You're trying to do everything. I mean, their facial expressions, their pronunciation, way of speaking, way of explaining. You're trying to do all the things what the person is doing in front of you. Just kind of copy exactly. So this is one of additional option, and the next option can be, you can just start by singing. If you like to sing, you can start by singing. See, when you are listening song, sometimes it is easy to understand and sing, but most of the time it can be hard. It can be very difficult to catch and to speak, to sing, right? So you can do one thing. You can just go to Google and just search for lyrics of the song which you are listening, and try to speak it loud, try to sing it loud. It is a kind of best practice you can do if you are interested enough in singing. Okay, now these are some additional points, these are some additional choices that you can do to do your practice of speaking English. And I have shared with you my routine as well. If you like that, you can pick up from that as well. Now let's move to the next point. Did you hear this statement that readers are leaders? Right? Readers are leaders. So to do reading is really important. It really important. It helps us to understand ourselves, to understand life, and so many things. Reading helps us a lot. Now, how you guys can improve your reading skills in English to learn English faster? How you can improve your English reading skills? First, which is very a nice way of learning English reading, that is, there's one website which I really want to share with you, that is upworthy.com. Upworthy.com, where everything is positive. There are many different articles, and each and every article is positive. So you will feel really energetic and interested towards those articles. You will feel like to read each and everything, because everything is in a positive way, right? You can learn that. You can start your reading journey from this website. This is a really good one. For me, if I say about me, what I used to do to learn English reading, I started learning English reading just by books. I love to read non-fiction books about self-help, personality development, or self-development. I like these types of books. So yeah, I started in this way. I used to follow routine about reading English. I used to read books, and still I read because I love it. Now I want to really share one thing with you guys. I just read somewhere that if you really don't like reading, you people always say that we don't like to read. It is kind of boring, right? So I just remember a quote from this. You can say reason you guys always make, that we don't want because we don't feel excited. It is quite boring, right? So I just remember one quote which I read somewhere, that is, if you feel boring while reading something, okay, you are reading something and you are feeling boring, it means that you did not choose a right one according to your interest. Now, did you get it? I mean, whatever you are reading, you did not get the right book or right article or anything which can interest you, right? You should choose as per your interest. What is your interest? So that you can continue read that thing. Try to choose some very light or short books, according to your interest, and definitely you will not feel boring. Okay. And of course there are so many articles on internet, and there are so many comics, novels. They are quite funny. You can start with them. Easiest one, you can start with it. For me, I do sometime, I mean, I go with sometime Quora, a kind of a website, and also there is application available, and it is all about questions. So I love to read questions, answers of those questions, what people are searching, what people are, replying for them. So I often read Quora as well, but mostly I always go with books because I like it, and I choose the book which interests me. According to my interest, I choose the book, and you can do the same. Try to find your interest, which thing you want to read, and then you can go with the easiest book. Okay. Now let's talk about next point, which is the last point, that is about writing. How to improve our English writing. Okay. If we want to improve our English faster, how to improve writing skills. Now this is the most important thing, I would say. I don't know, people always underestimate this point, writing skills. For me, it is really important. It is really important, and directly it helps you to speak English fluently. I have shared this thing so many times in my previous videos. This writing helps you a lot to improve your speaking skills. It is quite strange, but it is. It is right. Okay, now talking to how to improve our writing skills. See, writing, you can just write about anything. Okay, you can just write about anything what you like. What you like, you can just write about it. Or you can do one thing, as I've shared about speaking. Just search some topics on Google, and start sharing your views in the form of writing. Where you were talking about speaking, you were sharing your thoughts in speaking. Now you can share your thoughts in writing. You can apply same method here. Just take topic and just write about it. Or else you can do one thing, what I used to do. Okay, now I forget to talk about my study routine, which is I used to just write some random things, whatever used to come in my mind, like what I will do in my future, what are the things I want to do in my life, my some desires and happiest moment, sad moment, and some random things. I used to write a lot. I used to write a lot. And the main thing I can say here, I did not share this in any video, which is, if I learn any word, when I was in the process of learning this language, initially, when I learned any condition, any word, I used to create so many sentences with that. So many sentences, like 100 to 200 or 300 in a day, in 2 or 3 hours. And just because of that, a particular word or condition, they could able to stay in my mind. It is a good exercise you can do if you want to improve your writing and speaking together. Okay guys, so I have shared you all the things which I used to follow. It is really amazing study routine, just for 15 minutes in a day. This is not much time that you need to invest to learn this language, right? Very few minutes, just 15 minutes, you can just do one by one all the things. Whether you can go with audio, like I used to go with audio, then self talk. I used to just read some articles or books, and of course I used to write some random things, and everything was in English. And just because of that routine, I'm able to speak in English in front of you today. This is the routine which helped me to improve my speaking skills, to improve my English. And I'm really sure, if you are following this routine, if you're following the study routine to improve your English, within 15 days you can see good results. You can actually see good results. You need to just invest your 15 minutes in a day to learn this language. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe this channel and give this video a like, and share your a lot of love in the comment section. What do you think about this video? And of course, if you have any suggestion, or if you want me to make a separate video on any topic, you can just comment it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet in the next video.